Awesome.
What sort of week have you had?
Um, well, I just left the hospital yesterday. I had a urinary tract infection. And so
Okay.
that's been a recurring thing the past year, and I'm just grateful that I'm here with you and that
Yeah.
I didn't have to stay in the hospital another night. So
Okay.
yeah, it's good.
So, what's your disability?
I have a spinal cord injury.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm a quadriplegic. As you can see, I use my mouth to control the screen.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
I don't have much movement in my arms. I have more movement in my legs. So
Okay. Right. Yep. Yep. So, was that an accident you had?
yes, yes. Back in 1996, I fell off my bicycle and injured my
Okay.
neck. Yeah.
No. What a bugger. Sorry.
I know. Wait. A bagger or a bugger?
No, what a bugger.
Bugger.
That's a familiar with that term. It's a New Zealand colloquialism where it's like basically it's another way of saying, "Oh fuck," you know. What a bugger.
Isn't that also a British thing as well? Bug off or
Oh yeah,
no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. New
Yeah.
Zealand's very, very British,
Ah,
actually. So and but yeah, so they've adopted a lot of the British colloquialisms, etc. So basically, but, yeah, yeah. So how did you get on to me?
Dolores Cannon.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I've been really reading her books in sequence, and she was watching a video somewhere, and she recommended you. She highly recommended you, and I'm like, oh well, I gotta check out this dude. So looked on YouTube, and there was another gentleman, I think from Australia or
yeah,
maybe
Paul Williams. Yep, yep.
yeah, and I saw your video, and I just was like, I was like, wow, I felt your energy, I felt your just your exuberance, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like, I just felt just connected, and that's why I reached out, and here we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny when I first got your email. I mean, I've been doing what I've been doing publicly for over 36 years, but I've been on my spiritual journey since my late teens, basically, and I'm 63 now. And I always recognize a kindred spirit. It's like you just sort of think, oh yeah, I know that soul, and so I'm sure it doesn't happen all the time, but when I recognize it, I think it's always good to recognize it. So
absolutely, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, totally. So, but yeah. So, have you ever had a session with the channel before, or psychics, mediums, clairvoyants?
Um, not, no, not really.
Okay, yep, yep. So, I'll just explain quickly how I'll work with this. So, Tabash will obviously run the whole show, and he's a bit like a coach, mentor, therapist, guide, teacher, advisor, all sort of rolled together in one. And he's quite practical and pragmatic and very personable. And he loves to just basically say it as he sees it. So it's not a whole lot of ambiguous sort of new agey California stuff. He's really funny. He's got a real honesty about his vibration. Um, he watches the aura in you. He watches the guides you work with. So he's just collating information as he's chatting to you. And you can interact with him as much as you like, asking questions or just listen. Um, my voice will be different. I might get quite shiny. And when I've asked Spirit about that, they just say God's light shines through your body. And so you get this little glow. And actually, I remember once I was doing one of Dolores's transformation conferences, and I was a key speaker there. And they always filmed these things. And afterwards, when I'd finished, the cameraman comes and says, "Hey, Blake, have a look at this." And so I was looking in the camera, and basically my head was like a big ball of light. You couldn't really see my features at all. And so I thought, wow, that's interesting. And another thing, he filmed me leaving my body and Tabash coming in, and you can literally see this color of me going out, and then Tabash's color coming in. It's like that.
Do
And
do,
and
do you have
all,
do you have
um,
that? I would love to
um,
see that.
no, I don't know. I think it'll be on their archives or something like that, basically. See, but a lot of people have said things like that actually over the years. Um, I'll bring him
Qu-
through. It won't take long. Yeah, you want to ask me something? Yeah.
One quick question. That gentleman, beautiful being behind you, is that
Yes,
is that
Tabaash.
Tabash? That's Tabash.
Yeah,
I first thought
yeah.
that was actually Yeshua when I saw your video
Okay.
with Paul, but now I know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's Tabaash. I do have a very strong link with Yeshua, and so so there's just an alignment that I have. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story, and then I'll bring Tabaash through. Years and years and years ago, and I think that this was actually before I was publicly channeling, and I was reading this book called Jesus Lived in India. And so I was just reading a book, and it was telling you all about his journeys that he went, all around Europe and things like that. And anyway, for some reason, I read this chapter, and it was in the middle of summer, so I was just shorts, t-shirts, bare feet. And I looked down, and for whatever reason, the thought, the feet of Christ came into my mind. And the minute I thought that, I looked to the right of me, and he was standing, just there. And I'm like, okay. And then the room just filled with all this amazing light and energy. Well, this kept happening. I'd be sitting in my living room, and he'd suddenly be sitting in the chair opposite me or standing in the corner, and these types of things kept happening. And it sort of got to the point where I'd be sitting at my desk and doing something, and then Yeshua would just appear next to the chair here, and I just go like, "Oh yeah, g'day, how you doing?" And it was no big deal. Anyway, this went on for some time, and I was in town one day, and some friends of mine who owned this clothing store, they had to be called away, and they asked if I could just look after the shop for an hour. So it was fine. So I'm flicking through a magazine. Anyway, this born again Christian man comes in, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Do you know Christ?" Like this, you see. And I'm like,
I'm like, look, he's right there. He's right there on the right side of me.
yeah. So I told him the story, and then the guy got really angry with me, and he started spouting all about Satan, the devil, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, you're asking me if I know Christ. And I said, well, I do. And now here you're judging me. And I said, what's that got to do with your teachings and your belief systems and all that sort of stuff? Anyway, so he just didn't know what to say to that. He carried on getting angry, and then he left. Anyway, some years later, I actually asked Tabash, I said, oh, whatever happened to that dude? And he said he actually left his church after a while because it just made him start thinking about things and questioning things and looking at what he really believed in. And does he believe in himself, or did he believe what other people are trying to tell him to believe? And so I thought, oh, well, I suppose that was a good thing, turn some lights on in a certain way. But yeah, the moment he said, do you know Jesus? That's all I could do from just, jumping up and down so anyway, I'll bring Mr. T through. Um, have a good sesh. I'll talk to you afterwards. And yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you again.
Yeah,
So,
too. Thank you, my friend.
okay, dude. Cheers. Bye-bye. Mr. Shapiro, how are you?
Cheers, my friend.
I'm very happy to see you. I'll just have some water here. You know, of course, that there are no such things as coincidences. What there is choices. And whatever experiences people have in their lives, mind one's body, one spirit one's, it's a reality that you choose to participate in because it gives you an opportunity to evolve. And I say this, I say life is never a series of events that have happened to you, happening to you now, or going to happen to you, but more a series of events that have happened because of you, because of the way you think, because of the way you feel, because of the way you participate. What are you doing? You're creating a frequency. And in that frequency are all these codes of life that you're going to access based entirely on what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, etc. And so when you create a level of awareness within self, then that's when you begin to zoom out, look at the bigger picture. And the way I'm going to put it, it's a bit like saying, oh, well, I was just God doing it that way. And now I'm God doing it this way. And as I'm God doing it this way, then I'm still doing the driving, but I'm just doing the driving in a different way. It's not a wrong way, it's not a right way. It's just the way I'm doing it. And it's not about what do I have to fix or sort out and have therapy about. It's actually more a matter of, well, here I am, this God, this man's body, and therefore I have an opportunity to decide what to think, what to feel, what to be, what to live. So it's actually really interesting if you think about it. You know, you have this physical disability, but then it's allowed you to have greater abilities in different ways. So you're training yourself up to be more able in ways. But interesting too, before you became physically disabled, you were probably disabled in other ways in your life, but now you're not. And so therefore you are an able being. You are a God in a man's body, a creator of your life. And you're doing the driving in this way. It's not a wrong thing or not a right thing. It's just a thing. It's your thing. And so what it does, and I really honor you because you've come so far, but you've also crossed a lot of bridges, but you've also allowed yourself to walk a lot of lines that was you making a decision about, well, do I really want to hang around? And so there's this aspect of yourself that has given yourself life. So you have understood about how to create life, how to give yourself life. And in doing so, it's also presented you with other people's responses to who you are, the way you think, the way you feel, etc. Some people can't deal with that, so they're not in your life. Other people you've brought in, so you've been a magnet for other people's opportunities to love and to participate and to grow, etc. So you're a great teacher. And as a great teacher, then, the concept of that comes in lots and lots of different ways. Oops. Hello. Also, you have all these wondrous souls around you. And then, so this is where you begin to decide more than ever what makes me powerful, what makes me strong, what makes me able, what makes me clear. What are the qualities I possess? How am I expressing those? So you're living your life, and you just God doing it this way. And think about it. Not too long ago, people in your position would have been shoved into an institution. People in your position would have just been ignored. And so human nature has grown up a lot in the way that they understand. You're more able than some people. And so you've got a lot of wisdom, you've got a lot of power, you've got a lot of aptitude and ability. And you're teaching yourself how to be more multidimensional in your energies and your vibrations. And as a multidimensional being, one's got to realize that what do you have access to all the days of your life? Oh, I've got the power of life available to me all the time. And who's the real me? Oh, the real me is the soul. My human nature is just my human nature. What's my true nature or my higher nature? And so when you humans live in awareness, then awareness, from my perspective, is activated knowledge. So you take what you know and you live it. When you live it, you turn it into awareness. And awareness is what activates what Olga's called the God code in you. As the God code in you gets activated, it activates your connection to your higher nature. Your higher nature activates the human codes in you, but the higher nature directs the human nature. So it's a bit like saying, hey, human nature, it's me, God here. Just need you to know we're making some changes. We're going to think this way now. We're going to feel this way now. We're going to do it this way now. So when you humans live your life through that level of awareness, and what are you doing? You're able to channel the power of life. You're able to channel everything. You're also able to activate within you your unlimitedness, your multidimensional self. And so when humans get involved in self-development, they start realizing, oh, hang on a minute, there's a lot more to me than I thought. And so you have some of you in your body right now, but then you have the rest of you everywhere else. And all those different aspects of yourself are living their lives as we speak. And you're accessing information from those aspects, be it consciously or subconsciously. And so you've been drawing from the cornucopia of you all your life. And it makes sense that you get to a certain point of your development, which I believe you have, where you just turn more lights on. And when you turn more lights on, you see more. And when you see more, you have access to more. And then it's entirely up to you what you do with it. It's not about, what does humans say? Oh, what is my purpose, Tabaash? Or what is the meaning of my life? And what is my destiny? And I always think, look, don't have a purpose, don't have a destiny, don't have a meaning, just have a life. It's actually a lot easier. And then when you live your life on a more conscious level, then what happens? You have no limitations. You have no labels you need to put on yourself, barriers you need to put up. Hey, I'm just this God in this man's body with all the power of life flowing through me. It's March the 27th. I'm talking to Tabaash. We're just all chilling out here, and there it is. There's the power of life. And human nature has to set themselves up for, why am I here stuff. And as I always say, well, I'm here. And so when you see it from that perspective, then that's when you look at your relationship with yourself and consider, right, well, now that I'm here, what do I choose to do with this? Not, oh, where do I go from here? What's the universe wanting to tell me and all that stuff? Well, the universe doesn't tell you anything. You know why? Because it all comes from you all the time. And so therefore, as I say, you're the one who makes it all happen. So the way I put it is the way you wear yourself. So if you're wearing yourself in an ultimate way, then you're going to have ample opportunity to attract everything to you. And then you decide what to do with it. And because there are no degrees of separation, when people say, I'll give it to the universe, well, you're just giving it to yourself. And so we get back to aspects of self. So aspects of self give you the opportunity to know more about the power that you are, not to be, etc., etc. And so if you think right now, you have all these different aspects of Adam that are just there. And these are parts of you that know how to support you. These are parts of you that know what to do. So when you find yourself in a position where you need more than what you are now, then you just go to the part of you that knows what to do, or knows what to think, or knows what to feel, or knows what to be. And so therefore, what you have is this great ability, physiologically and mentally and emotionally, because you're just vibration. So everything is just frequency. And that's why humans, if they really get this, and there's a collectivity that understands this, that's how, in your situation, you should be able to fuse everything back together again. You should be able to take all the cells and regrow things and make things happen, and suddenly stand up and walk out of the room. That is possible. But for it to be possible for people, you have to have a high percentage of human nature that's on the same wavelength. So it's all to do with frequency, whether that's, your position, or whether that's spiritual enlightenment, or whatever the case is. When you get enough people, enough percentage of people believing that they are God, that they are source energy, then that's when the collectivity of energy starts changing things and making things different. But of course, you've got to remember you're on a planet that is experiential. So as a soul, because you create the realities of your life to give you an opportunity to grow and offer other people opportunity to grow, then this is where, for want of a better human phrase, shit happens. And so when it does, it gives you a chance to be more, to do more, to create more, to open up more. And that's what you've been doing. You're giving your chance. You've been giving yourself a chance to do that, but also you'll be giving other people a chance to do that as well. And so therefore, you're a teacher, you're a healer, you're also just a person. You're just this God in this man's body, living your life and doing your thing, and you've had to reorganize everything. But you actually have quite a good life. And so if you look at it in that light, you can say to yourself, actually, yeah, I do. And it's not about, oh, I have to be terribly grateful for that, la, 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 la. You know, this is your life, and it's quite a good life. And it's about acknowledging that and acknowledging the opportunity you're given to yourself to say, right, okay, I'm God doing it this way. And then God doing it this way. How much more can I be? How much more can I do? How much more can I create? And so what you do is you begin to move into a different state of consciousness that allows you to channel source power in an even greater way. And as you bring that energy through you, again, it's not, let's create a miracle. It's just, oh, let's just be practical, because really it's just the science of consciousness. It's quantum physics, the science of possibility. So here you've reached this point in your life where, as a God in a man's body, mind, body, and spirit, you're deciding, oh, what do I want to make possible now? And so, but you have to be realistic about it. Every day you wake up, you have life again. Every day you decide, okay, today what am I going to think? Today what am I going to feel? Today what am I going to be? And that's how it works. Not, I wonder, how the day will be. You're a smart man. Be smart about yourself. And, self-development is the total and absolute development of life, not just spiritual things and new earth consciousness and extraterrestrials that you have lunch with and all that stuff. It's literally about, it's just life. Enlightenment to me means to be in light of your life. So when you're in light of your life, you've gone into your life's room and you've turned the lights on. And then when you turn the lights on, you see everything. And I mean everything. Nothing goes away. It's all there. Stuff you like, stuff you don't like, stuff you don't know, stuff you want to know, stuff you have no idea about. It's always in the room. But it's the way you go into the room that determines exactly what your experience is going to be. So obviously, if you go into the room as God, then, yep, you see it all. And you are very discerning. You understand what areas that you want to look at. If you go into the room full of misery guts and whatever, well, then your misery gut stuff in the corner is going to wave at you and go, oh, Adam, hey, come on, let's be miserable together. Come and hang out. So if you're in that mood, off you go. But then one day you walk in there and you're God again, and that guy aspect of you goes, oh, back so soon? But then you go, oh, no, sorry, I don't hang out with you now. And that's actually quite a good way to look at where you're at just at this point. Which aspects of yourself do you realize, no, I don't need to hang out with them anymore? That way of thinking, that way of feeling, that way of being. And instead, you get selected, life by invitation. I'm going to decide, how I want to think, how I want to feel. I'm going to tell my life, tell my body, tell my mind, tell my spirit. Here's the story, here's the deal. And that could just be the deal for the next hour. And you are such a powerful soul. And this power is increasing more and more and more. And remember, all the power comes from your soul. And so your body has no power without the soul. And so when you live as God, as I put it, when you live in that way, well, then this is where you project the power of life through you in a greater way. And it's not, oh yeah, I'll give that a go, try it, see what happens, etc. You got to live it. You got to make it a way of living. And that's a state of consciousness. And so it's not like something you have to attain or study for. It's a belief system. And so when you look differently in your belief systems, then it creates this catalytic effect through everything. And that's why it's really important to keep expanding on your belief systems, keep reaching for more. But to realize that it's not about where am I going with this? It's more, what am I doing with this? I'm this God in this man's body, in this life now. And yeah, everything else is out there, but I'm not out there consciously at the moment. I'm consciously here. So that's my focal point. And I noticed in my observations of humanity over the 36 years I've been working through Blair is humans are often wanting to, say, oh, Tabaash, how do I get out there? I want to know more about what's going on there. And I said, well, before you get out there, you got to know what's going on here. And so people often use self-development as a way of escaping from their human nature. Oh, I don't like my life, so I'm going to focus on past lives. I don't like my life, so I'll look at, new earth energies instead, etc., etc. So the way to get anywhere is to know what you're doing now. What makes me powerful now? What makes me strong now? What makes me able now? That's what you focus on. And what are you doing? You're generating source energy. And the moment you do that, then what happens? You become everything. There are no degrees of separation to a thing. And so when there are no degrees of separation to anything, it's that which gives you access to all of everything. There's no secret to the universe. There's no thing that humans have to do or think or feel or be, to access all of this. It's just a matter of which state of consciousness am I experiencing? And so, as I say to you, everybody is God in a body, but being God on earth does not make you infallible to human experience. So you're still going to go through your human experiences. Shit will still happen. But when it does, because you know that you're plugged into the power source, you've always got a vibration and an energy that supports you. I'm going to ask you an interesting question. Why do you believe you're still alive?
It's my choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, you make that choice every day when you wake up. Everybody does. And so therefore, when you realize, well, that's my choice, that's just you saying to yourself, oh, I'm all about life. And therefore that's what it is. I'm all about life and I'm going to keep on living. And as I keep on living, then I'm gonna and I know I watch your energies and you do it with good grace. So when you do it with good grace, then you're not fighting your situation. You're accepting your situation. You're making the most of your situation. You're reorganizing your vibrations and your energies. And therefore you're giving life to yourself. And
Absolutely.
and and we applaud you. You should be very proud of yourself and what you've achieved, what you've accomplished, what you've taught other people, how you do the driving in life. Because you're always about life. You were always about that before your accident. You're always about life. And okay, but sometimes you just weren't paying attention. And when you don't pay attention to self, then that's where things happen. But you're paying more attention than ever before. And what you have done is created massive catalyst for yourself to be able to grow, to evolve, to be more supportive of what life means to you. And so in doing so, and it reminds me of a quote Nelson Mandela. As you let your own light shine, you unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And that's what you've done. So you've illuminated other people. But also, what it's done, it's brought a whole lot of different sort of people into your life that you would never have experienced. It's giving you access to, more life in lots of different ways. And in doing so, it's allowed you to be a greater observer, a greater participant. And so I'm just thinking about 2024 for you when I was saying that. And I was thinking 2024 is a year of freedom for you, where you decide, well, let's be freer. Let's be more expressive. Let's be more open. Let's be better than better and more than more and greater than greater, happier than happier. Let's just have the freedom just to live more and to be more. And in doing so, you do it because you can. You don't do it because I've got to prove something or I've got to teach somebody anything or whatever. I'm just doing this because I can. That's what you do about life. You live it because you can. Humans make a big mistake of trying to put a label on themselves. I'm living because, or I'm happy because, or I'm able to love because. And when humans get into this because, then that's when they're going to set themselves up for some challenges. I think it's like I love because I can love. I live because I can live. I'm free because I'm free. I don't need a label on myself. There's that old concept. In order to be something more, you have to know what it is to be nothing. And what that means is that I don't need a label. I don't need a purpose. I don't need even identity. I just am. And in that sense, then that's when you get more powerful. Often if you want to know something, it's often when you stop thinking for a moment and allow yourself just to be, because that's when you get integrated. That's when you become the receiver. Humans make this big error of judgment by believing that they've got to run around doing all these things, and then they're missing the simplicity of how it works. It's like people who go from seminar to conference to channel to psychic to medium to healer to rebirth or whatever, and they believe that is self-development. All that is gathering. And so then they go and finish their courses and they go home and they go to their lives and they go, oh God, my life's so miserable. I better sign up for the next course so I can get into that rah-rah energy again. When you hear something, read something, explore something, whatever, then that's when you take that essence of that. And if you live that, that's self-development, by living what ideas I've developed, feelings I've developed, etc. And so this time of freedom for you is, and I'm going to put it in this words, the God in you grows more. And the God in you, of course, is you. It's you who is the creator, who has the power, who just exists. And in that sense of existence, then you build up this essence of, how shall I put this, your state of being. And in that state of being, then there's just that awareness that is there. Awareness without a reason, without a purpose. When people say to me things like, why did God create the universe? And I said, well, there's no reason for that at all. There's no answer to that. It's just that it just happened because God built up its own power and its own vibration. And when you build up power and vibration, it's got to go somewhere. It doesn't get stored up. It's natural to express. So God's energy built up to such a point where it just out like this, and it just expressed. You know what this feels like because you've done that yourself. and so you build up this feeling, you build up this idea, you build up this, and then kaboom! Suddenly an idea presented itself, or an essence, or an energy. And so this is a good time for you to feed your soul. That's a good question to put to you. How do you feed your soul?
By learning to love myself, to really embrace this divine feminine aspect that I've been running
Yes.
away from my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is to
Yeah.
really love every part about him, even the younger
Yeah.
part about him that I ran away from when I injured my neck. And so it's really
Yeah.
come back that place of
Yeah.
innocence and seeing the love that's been within me this whole time, but I just haven't been aware of.
Yeah. It's interesting about what you just said because that reflected itself in so many areas of your life, and because that sensitivity part of you, sexuality, energy, everything, it's just brought through you this whole sense of what is the feminine in me and why was I so afraid of her? And the thing is that she wasn't there to make things difficult for you. She was just there to love you and just to be a part of you. As much as, when I look at you, so you're like, Blia, you've got this androgyny about you. You know the man in you really well, but you know the woman in you really well too. And so therefore, when you bring the two energies together, then you create a whole different vibration and energy. So this is where suddenly you get into a position where there will be times where vibrationally I use the feminine aspect of myself and other times the masculine aspect of myself. And then other times I'll blend them together and I'll use, my God nature. And so when you get this blend, interesting, is it not? It really does come down to, in order to be more, you've got to have 100% acceptance of self. But then, humans fight themselves. They fight their feelings, ideas, etc. And that's to do a lot with stories that people have listened to that usually come from other people. Or the way that, humans say, you can't be this, you can't do that, and you got to do this instead, and so on and so forth. No wonder humans are also confused because everyone's listening to everything and everyone except themselves. And so of course, human life is full, and history is full of catalysts for humans to change. And what does it does? It brings you back to you. And sometimes it's more dramatic and drastic, other times it's not. And so what you've done is you've revealed yourself to yourself. And in your revealing of yourself, and you said something about learning to love myself. I'm going to say to you, no, you're not learning to love yourself. You're loving yourself. You don't need to learn it. You're remembering. I'm remembering that I love myself. And so it's just a frequency shift. Here's something I'm going to say to you, which is interesting. Stop working on yourself and instead work with yourself. Because when you work with yourself, you don't have to learn anything. When you work with yourself, you're working with the fact, hey, the love is already there. The power is already there. The ability is already there. I don't need to work on it. I work with it. I work with what is there because I'm not finding anything. I'm just remembering everything. So when you get interested and drawn to types of teachings and experiences that make sense to you, that those things act as a catalyst that brings a familiarity to you. And that's where, oh, this is a trigger for me to remember what I know. It's activating something in me. And then there are times when you look at things and you're like, nah. And that's because don't need that trigger. That's not an activator for me. And so gradually, as you become, as I'll say, God more in your nature, you sift out more and more, and you only attract to you that which is inspiring to you and motivating to you and helps you to remember what you are. And then when you remember what you are, then you automatically activate within you that aspect of your soul that starts bringing more power through or more information through, and things make more sense, basically. It's a lot easier than humans think. But you know what humans like, they have to make it hard. And so that's why they are involved in the concept of conflict. That's why they are involved in the conflict of I don't know, and all that sort of stuff. Whereas when you get to a point like you have, and it become integrated, then what I said before, it's like facts. I love myself. I'm proud of myself. You know, I am myself. I'm lots of myself. Which self should I be today? You know, so when it comes to the divine feminine in you, that's the sensitive part of you, that's the lover in you, that's the teacher in you, that's the spiritual in you, that's the healer in you, that's the communicator in you. You know, you got all these skills and aptitudes and abilities. That's, you know, your ability to be hugely perceptive of what things are. And so when you 100% love her, then she just is there. You don't have to call her in. In fact, you don't have to call anything. It's just there. The moment you resonate to a certain vibration, you become that vibration. Imagine it's like what I said before, when you say you are God. So the moment you say, I am God. So imagine here's your body and here's the God power. So you're affirming, I am God. The moment you do that, you attract the vibration of that in you, and it blends into straight away. Now, the moment it blends into you, it's a bit like God coming into your body and going to have a good look around. Oh, what's going on here? And so your God, the God in you, is looking at the life that is Adam, and it's gone. It's like a form of channeling. So that God in you is looking through Adam's body and seeing what needs to be done, and therefore you get information or knowledge, or you suddenly have a feeling or a frequency, and then once you get that, then that God energy just steps slightly back. It's still there. But then the Adam part of you thinks, right, now that I got that, what do I do with it? And that's how it all works. You know, when humans put out, you know, I need help, I need assistance, energy would just come zoom like that, sees it through your eyes, observe what needs to be done, creates a strategy, gives you an idea, gives you a feeling, gives you incentive or whatever it is you're needing. And then you take that and go, right, hey, cheers, thanks. And then you get on and do what you need to do. And it's the same for everything and everybody. But of course, not everybody does that. Or you know, they're not aware that they're actually doing that. So as I said before, I'll just go to the part of me that knows what to do. I'll just go to the God part of me. What would the God part of me do here? Straight away, zoom, okay, God's checking things out, sussing the situation out. Oh, what would the woman in me do here? Oh, what would the man in me do here? You know, so what would the feeler in me do? The thinker in me do here? You know, so it's the organizing of life forces in those states of consciousness. So you're raising your ability more and more, which is giving you more access to more states of consciousness. Yesterday, someone said to me, Tabaash, can you talk to me about this place that's called heaven? And I said, well, heaven's not a place. It's actually a state of consciousness. It's the highest state of consciousness. So when you finally leave your bodies, You just blend into that state of consciousness. You're still alive. And so therefore it's about being alive in the best way that you choose. And so you can do that whilst you're here. So when you finally move into the next state of consciousness, then you'll do what you do there. So whilst you're here as this God in this man's body, then you're deciding, well, which states of consciousness do I want to live my life by? And as I said before, I don't need to work on this. I don't need to learn anything. I'm consistently activating myself. So therefore, I'm actually bringing more power through me, more choices through me. And therefore, I'm training up my whole being to recognize that vibration, those frequencies. So, as a God right now, what would you like to say to your feminine self, please?
I love you so much, Adam. I've been waiting for you for a very
Yes,
long time.
good. Yeah,
For you to embrace me and for me to embrace you.
yes. How do you want her to work with you?
I'm not sure.
What would the woman in you, the feminine in you, wish to say to the man in you?
Trust me. Give me a try. Open
Good,
to me.
good.
Trust your feeling nature.
Excellent. Good. Let her nurture him. Let her love him. Let her heal him. Let her be him. So it's like this collaboration between the two vibrations. I'd like you to repeat something. From the Lord God of my being,
From the Lord God of my being,
I now choose
I now choose
to be totally liberated.
to be totally liberated.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Of all that limits me,
Of all that limits me.
of all I'm attached to that no longer serves me,
Of all that it's a. So, sorry, one more time again.
of all I am attached to
Of all that I am attached to
that does not serve me,
that does not serve me.
of all I am addicted to
Of all that I am addicted to
that does not profit me.
that does not profit me.
I ask forgiveness.
I ask for forgiveness
Of all the people I have hurt,
of all the people that I have hurt
in this life,
in this life
in any life,
and in any life
in any way at all.
and in any way at all.
I forgive all who have hurt me
I forgive all that have hurt me
in this life,
in this life,
in any life,
in any life,
in any way at all.
in any way at all.
I forgive myself
I forgive myself
for all the ways I have hurt myself,
of all the ways that I have hurt myself,
for the times I did not pay enough attention
and for the times that I did not pay enough attention
in this life,
in this life,
in any life,
in any life,
in any way at all.
in any way at all.
And now I choose to be at peace
And now I choose to be at peace
and free
and free
always
always
in all ways.
in all ways.
So be it.
So be it.
Excellent. That's good. How did you feel saying that?
Liberated.
Good.
Scared in the
Yep.
beginning, but
Yep.
liberated.
Yep. See, right now, you just changed your life. You just made a gear change. And that's how easy it is to be liberated. As Voltaire said, the moment you decide to be liberated of something, you are. And I'd like you to use what you just said every day for 1 month. Why I say 1 month is in our observations of human nature, it tends to take 1 month for people to align into consistent energy changes. And, humans are used to just, I call it having a 2 minute noodle life, where they just want to put the water in, mix it up, and eat it in 2 minutes. But when you wish to make fundamental changes in one's life, whether it's through your thoughts, feelings, whatever, then you've got to realize that you've got to be consistent in your story. And so, therefore, when you are relieving yourself of what was, you're just emptying yourself. No one is here to be a storage unit for anything. The natural state of life actually is to be clear. When you're clear, then every day when you channel through your life's power, then it's easy to go through because there's nothing that gets in the way. No thoughts, no attitudes, no experiences, whatever. Invariably it's like, oh yeah, that's when you look back in the past, it's like saying, oh, well, that just happened to someone I used to be, whether that was years ago or yesterday. And so every day, well, here I am again, brand new. What shall I do with it? What shall I think? What shall I feel? How shall I wear myself today? And in order to wear yourself ultimately, it's always to be very present with self, because that's where the power is. It's not over there, it's here. And so that's what humans have called the power of the now. So you find the power in your experiences. I mean, if you take it from that perspective, you could say that literally, you listening to me talking to you, you and I having this exchange is literally the most important thing either of us is doing in our existence right now, because that's what we're focused on. And that's where all the power of everything is from. It's not, the next hour or whatever, it's now. So you are powerful now. Say this: I am the vibration of God.
I am the vibration of God.
I am the vibration of my higher nature.
I am the vibration of my highest nature.
I am the vibration of my total well being.
I am the vibration of my total well-being.
I am the vibration of my feminine self.
I am the vibration of my higher self.
I am the vibration of my masculinity.
I am the vibration of my masculinity.
I am the vibration of my femininity.
I am the vibration of my femininity.
I am the vibration of love.
I am the vibration of love.
I am the vibration of healing.
I am the vibration of healing.
Yes. See how it works? It's about being all those things, not finding it, learning it, being it. So when you get into a position where this is who I am, then that's where you don't have to look for anything. And the moment you stop looking, that's when you start being. Because the moment you start being, then suddenly you realize, oh, it was in the room anyway. And humans create the vibration of looking, which acts as a distractor. Whereas if you allow yourself to always experience life as a state of being, then one sees all, one knows all, one is all. And then what occurs is that you see what is necessary, you feel what is necessary, you are what is necessary, because you only need to be, think, feel, etc. What is necessary. You don't need to do any more than is needed. Blair's mates come to his house to visit him. He lives alone. And, what do mates do? Oh, they go to the fridge and see what's in the fridge. What do you got to drink? What do you got to eat? He never has anything in his fridge because he buys it each day. And so they open the fridge expecting to find a lot of stuff. And they go, you got nothing in your fridge, apart from a few things. And Blair goes, yeah, I'll just buy it when I need it. And so it's all about being a storage unit. And okay, a lot of people won't live in that way, but humans do that. It's like they fill themselves up with a whole lot of unnecessary whatever. Whereas, why don't you just each day think what is necessary, feel what is necessary? At the end of the day, you should always be emptying yourself of the day's vibration. And all you'd have to do is say, I empty myself, mind, body, and spirit of all the energy of this day. I return it back to source with peace and love, so be it. And that's it. That's March the 27th finished. And so you've got this clear slate. So thing is too, remember, if you're always having a clear slate, then your physiology doesn't have old reference points to go to. So if you're always clear, the body suddenly remembers, oh, hang on a minute, it doesn't remember. It doesn't remember what's happened because it doesn't need to. So when you're always clear, see, this is how real healing comes about too. Because if you consistently refer to the old stories, well, then you're training up your physiology, your mental state, etc., to always refer to that story. So when you refer to that story, you create the reality to match with that story. Whereas if you really do literally, now put that down, that's gone, let that go, then you're just clear. And so therefore, as you build this up, then what have you done? You've trained your physical body to recognize you in your higher nature as the leader. And therefore, you will lead your human nature from a clear place. But if you lead your human nature from an old story, well, then the human body will automatically seek for what's familiar to you. And this is why people keep repeating, health issues or relationship issues or work issues or whatever, because they're just caught up into that old story. So you're deciding at this point in your life what you choose your story to be. And you can change your story because that's what God's do. And so as you change that story, you're always looking for different versions of who you are. I'm going to give you an example of something. Years and years ago, we did this live-in workshop for men, and Blair was channeling the whole time. And so it was about 5 hours of channeling, and I'd been working with the group, and we'd been using music, taking them through some meditations, etc. Anyway, so I brought Blair back for lunch. He'd been channeling for 5 hours, so he was like completely, way out there. Anyway, this man comes up who's German, and he asked Blair about the music that was being used, but he spoke to him in German. Now, Blair doesn't speak German, but he understood every word he said, and he replied back to him in fluent German. And he was chatting away, having this conversation with him. And then all of a sudden, Blair sort of thought, hang on a minute, I don't speak German. And the moment he thought that, bang, he couldn't. And the guy went off to lunch, and Blair's going, wow, that's interesting. And then he said to me, hey, Tabaash, what just happened there? I said, you became nothing. And in becoming nothing, then you got access to everything. So when you remove a story from yourself that doesn't serve you, or remove a story that says you can't, well, then anything is possible. And so here you are, this man's body deciding, oh, what do I want to be possible now? And okay, you got to be realistic, but it's about allowing yourself to say, what is the vibration that I'm working with? And I'm going to be so on your case. So I'm going to be, connecting with you. I love you so much. I think you're awesome. And so we're your friends, and but I'm also going to give you a few kicks at the jacuzzi, and so you'll sense our presence around a lot, and this is your time of freedom. It's a free year. So what you need to do is to be free to be you. Rip the labels off. Take away the doubts and the fears and the concepts and all that sort of stuff. Those are human in nature. Remember, you're God in your nature before you are human in your nature. So therefore, as that God in you presents itself more and more, then what you're doing is that you're telling every cell of your body, well, this is what we do now. This is what we feel now. And it starts encouraging the cellular structure to activate itself on that level. And so you become in light of yourself. And it will lift your vibrations up, open you up to be more receptive to energy and source. And so you start to feel differently in every way possible. But remember what I said, it's not about what's over there. So don't make life your next destination. Instead, make life, hey, what are the experiences that are really important for me to have right now, today? And let's pay attention to those that are natural. And then I just live. And then if you need to do a little bit of added extra, your mind self will tell you, your body self will tell you, your spirit self will tell you. It will let you know. And that's when sometimes you talk to souls like me, or you read something, or you watch something, or you meditate. It's literally about, oh, okay, what as long as I feed my mind and my body and my spirit from a position of alignment, then I'm going to give myself more choices and more chances, and will help. So be along giving you a few kicks at the jacuzzi just to make sure that you keep progressing.
Sounds great, my friend. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Hey, look, I've talked nonstop for almost an hour. Is there anything you'd like to ask me before we go?
Oh, the $1 million questions. I honestly don't really have any specific question. Yeah, just grateful to be here and connect with you and all the other beings that you're connected with. So thank you, Tabash.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure. And like I said, we'll be around your vibration. As I was talking, I was getting quite connected to your dad's father, so your paternal grandfather. And do you feel that you connect with his soul at all?
No.
Yeah. So I just feel his presence around you quite a bit.
Hmm.
And also there's a name that came up, and the name was James.
Hmm.
And so there's someone called James around you. And I just get like a real peaceful presence when I said that name. And I almost feel that the soul is just really watching out for your energies. And there's something very mastery about this soul called James. So I feel this vibration is very strong. And I'm even talking about it, I'm getting quite tingly. So it's almost like James is just imbuing you with power and vibration and energies. And of course, Yeshua. So his presence is constant in your vibrations and energies.
And
And so
Anna as well. Anna,
yeah,
grandmother
yeah,
of Jesus. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but Yeshua was saying something here is that practice being him. And so that way you bring his essence through you, the energy through you. And that again lifts the vibration and the energy, basically. Well, remember, there are no degrees of separation to anything. Everything is everything. Everything has an impact on everything. Everything is everything. Everybody is everybody. It's just a story that makes things separate. So when you allow yourself to be everything, that's when you benefit even more from what is available to you. All right, I'll bring Blair back into his body. It's been a great joy talking to you, and much love and blessings to you. So you stay online, and I'll bring your brother back. Bye bye for now. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm good.
How was your session?
Um, it was um, it was good. Yeah, it was good to yeah, yeah, at the end it kind of brought me to some tears when he
Yep,
said that there was a
yep,
being named
yep.
James that that might be my guide or something related
Yes.
to my
Yep.
paternal
Yep.
father. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's more things that I would really like to try to become more aware of is just beings that are assisting me and just things that might yeah open up areas in
Yep.
my life that I've kind of like closed off to, you know. So this
Yep.
for
Yep.
me, reaching out to you is kind of like um, a new journey and a new opening for me to start to explore more parts of my life that I've kind of said no to that I haven't explored,
Yep.
different
Yep. Yep. Yep.
different pathways and different
Yep.
spiritualities and all
Yep.
that good
Yep.
stuff.
Excellent. Well, we're here for you, brother. So
Yeah.
anyway, I got to go because I got another person soon. So I'll love you and leave you, and have a awesome evening.
All right. Thank you, Blair. Appreciate it, brother.
Okay, brother. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.